by popular demand, I am back to review another Ffern fragrance. Today I'm going to be talking about the Ffern Spring 2024 limited release perfume. So, as per usual, they always have a beautiful sample box. I can't speak highly enough about the whole unboxing experience, and just like the multimedia marketing campaign around each of their fragrances, it really feels like what you're getting in the mail is a piece of a greater story, and it kind of feels like something that an art house would produce, and I think that makes Ffern really special. Beyond their responsible production and consumption that they are promoting, which I think all companies should really strive for, they're still able to do all that responsibly without compromising the consumer experience. So, for the spring 2024, the highlight that they were really pushing was rhubarb. So inside it came with a lovely little brochure. I love the art in these. And then when you open it up, you get this, whoops, it was upside down, this beautiful poster. And this is something I would totally buy and frame. It looks like a bouquet, but it's actually rhubarb, which is super cool. They also have little short films. They had this almost like Wes Anderson-esque choir of old men singing an ode to rhubarb, and I really enjoyed watching that too. Like, they just really make this a multi-sensory experience, which I love. So here were my thoughts on the actual fragrance. So this is the sample vial, and I didn't keep the full-size vial for this one, even though I loved this quarter's fragrance, because it did make me sneeze, and I kind of like could feel a headache forming right on the edges. I don't know why, but like my system's just really picky about which scents I can and cannot tolerate. So the other things that came in the little sample box are some rhubarb seeds, which is so cute. The little sample papers that you can spray on, as well as the clay disc that you can spray on, and it acts as a diffuser. I really love using this because sometimes, especially for the last one I had, which I reviewed, the fall 2023, I felt like it was a fragrance that was much better suited as like room or home fragrance. This one I would wear if my system just tolerated it better. So I think these are really great for that. Whenever I give these a smell and a review, I haven't read anything about the fragrance. I like to go into this pretty much completely blind, just knowing what the highlight or the inspiration behind the fragrance is. So upon first spray, it's so fresh and citrusy, but in a very like subdued way. It's not like that sharp, punchy lemon or orange, but it is certainly a freshness, kind of very citrusy, and immediately I got grapefruit, but not a cloying grapefruit that, you know, you might find in a fruity fragrance, but it was like a grapefruit glass of juice. It's, you know, sweet, but a little bit bitter and a little bit tangy, and I felt that it evolved into something that was woodier, but also very green. So it wasn't green like a very fresh, bright, light green, but it was more like a deep, dark green, probably because of all the spice and like a woody undertones to it. And I found there was a lot of depth, and the fragrance really evolved within like a 5 to 10 minute period on the paper, and I just kept going back for it. So the lemon bits kind of dissipate, but the grapefruit, that darker citrus note, plus the woodiness really came through in a really beautiful way. When you think spring, I think people just think like flowers, yellow, bright, sweet, everything. But this is like a spring morning, like walking through the woods. What I felt like this really smelled like was you're walking through a historic district or an old town where all the buildings are at least 100 to 200 years old, and there's a gift shop and you can't afford anything in it, but they have like cute little like beauty items for men, for women. They have candles, they have lots of stationery, paper goods. that kind of store. I don't know why, but it was like, that's what this smells like. It's like a place that feels cozy, but you really want to explore it. That's my take on the Ffern Spring 2024. Let me know if you're on the ledger and whether or not you ended up keeping this one. And if you did and you ever get bored of it, DM me, because I am open to buying it off of you, or like a decant or something, because I really loved it, but I just couldn't justify keeping the whole bottle. Anyways, hope this was helpful, and can't wait to read your comments and answer any of your questions.